When war erupted between the armed forces of the Philippines and the IS-inspired Mauti and Abu Sayyaf terrorist group in Marawi City, the crisis of the internally displaced persons or IDPs started. Hundreds of thousands of people fled from Marawi to evade the war and sought refuge in the evacuation centers, in makeshift shelters, or in their relatives. DIB, ALTERPLAN, and ICESDev immediately assisted the affected IDPs with the support from the Danish Emergency Relief Fund, or DERF. DERF interventions ran from July 2017 to April 2018 and were mainly in the form of groceries and cash assistance, healthcare and feeding program, and psychosocial services. One of the offshoots of the DERF project is the formation of Lumbay Ka Marawi organization. It is the only formally organized association of the Marawi seed survivors.
Ang Lumbay Ka Marawi po ay isang people's organization na mga IDPs.
I hereby declare Marawi City liberated from the terrorist influence that marks the beginning.
But more than a year after Marawi was declared liberated, thousands of IDP families have not been able to return to Marawi. While many of those who have returned are still in the temporary housing arrangements, such as tent cities, or dwellings shared with relatives or friends.
Ang kalagayan namin dito sa tent po, pag umuulan po, pumapasok po yung mga tolo dito sa loob. Tapos pag mahangin naman, minsan po umaakyat po yung mga tent namin. So pag ganitong init, sobrang init talaga po dito.
Isa pa yung sitwasyon namin doon, yung pag-aagawan ng tubig. Kasi minsan lang dumating yung nagbibigay sa amin, nag-ration sa amin na tubig.
Nag-start kami dito pumunta first week of Ramadan, tapos nag-Ramadan na naman kami ulit. So 1 year na po.
The main battleground remain off limits to former residents. Obviously, thousands of Marawi siege IDPs remain as IDPs until today. By the end of the DERF project in April 2018, Lumbay Ka Marawi had been invited to participate in Task Force Bangon Marawi, an interagency mechanism created by the government that is tasked for the rehabilitation of Marawi. However, as the IDPs continued to identify with Lumbay Ka organization and as the officers kept on exerting effort to improve the conditions of its members, Lumbay Ka officers reported that they have not been invited anymore to monitoring activities of the Task Force Bangon Marawi.
Last year, ang Lumbay Ka Marawi po ay kasama sana sa third-party monitoring ng Task Force Bangon. Pero hindi natuloy kasi ang gusto ng Task Force Bangon kung sino lang yung mahawakan nila.
Nakatingalahan ko diri, daw duha na katuig ang nahitabo, duha po katuig ang daing sa mga IDPs and Maranaos mismo. Why we do not have somebody there deciding and processing and planning for the assistance and rehabilitation na ihatag sa mga IDPs. So akong question karon, nganong dili man sensitive ang concern nga tagaan sila o participation. Ako gani nagaworry gani ko nga nanong ingon ana tungod kay ang Mindanao conflict dira lang na siya nagasugod sa misunderstanding and walay participation.
But, believing in the principle of citizens' participation, affected IDPs should have the right to participate in matters affecting them.
Akong masulti para sa mga members sa Lumbay ka Marawi, mga IDPs, kinanglan kita matuon o mga dagang mga technical skills kung paano na to malabi na to the concerned government agencies and our voices will be heard. So we will study the dynamics, we will study the bureaucracy, we will prepare ourselves pangitan mga data, mga numbers, mga pangalan, mga updates. Inatubang manggod na to bureaucracy, inatubang manggod na to structures. So kinanglan may preparation na. Muna nga part siguro sa struggle na marinig ang boses katong mag-employ kita o mga technical skills and knowledges para makarelate kita sa atong mission.
So, DIB and ALTERPLAN, in coordination with the ICESDev, ventured another project dubbed as Beyond Fight or Flight, amplifying the role of the IDPs in the reconstruction of Marawi.
It is very imperative and very important for the IDPs to be included, no? So lahat-lahat ng levels ng decision-making process. After all, these IDPs, no? Sila yung apektado ng giyera. Sila talaga yung apektado ng gulo.
With the support from CISO's Citizens Participation Intervention, the project aims to strengthen and prepare Lumbay ka Marawi organization for a leading role in equitable and inclusive rehabilitation of Marawi. The intervention focuses on building up and support the claim of Lumbay ka Marawi as the rightful and capable stakeholder in development.
Nag-focus tayo dun sa strengthening ng organization ng Lumbay ka Marawi. So,
Activities of the project include research, training, planning, networking, community meetings, and consultations.
We are very privileged, no, to have a partner galing sa Denmark, itong Danish International Human Settlement Agency, no. So sila din itong sa atin, nag-provide ng material support para magkaroon ng venue itong mga IDPs natin for a continuing capacity building, continuing mga exercises para naman sila later on magkaroon na ng boses at saka magkaroon ng capacities to really stand and decide for themselves.
A tracer mapping was conducted for the IDPs that were assisted by the DERF in the Emergency Response Period.
after na-survey na, nag-organize na mo sila, gimit na mo sila, gi-organize, gi-explain na mo kung unsa gyud ang aim sa Lumbay ka Marawi. Gi-explain na mo ang mission and vision, ang values, ug unsay buhaton as a Lumbay ka member nga dapat active sila, mag-participate sila in every activity sa Lumbay ka Marawi kay para to sa ilaha.
Then, series of meetings with IDPs and orientation on Lumbay ka Marawi organization were conducted. These resulted to the increase of its membership from originally 3 chapters to 10 chapters with 57 clusters.
One cluster, meron tayong 30 to 35 na mga households. No? So, medyo malaki na yung membership ng Lumbay ka Marawi.
Sa dihan i-organize na mo sila, nakita gyud namo nga malipayon gyud sila nga na-member sa Lumbay ka Marawi.
Gusto po namin madagdagan pa kami kasi po gusto po namin ng mas maraming nagsasalita. Sa ngayon po kasi nasa 2,000 po kami mahigit. Mas gusto na pa namin dagdagan yung mga IDPs na nasa labas po na hindi nakasali sa mga ganitong pagkakataon ay gusto din namin sila hikayatin na maisali sila sa mga programang ganito.
Various capacity building activities on leadership, networking, and advocacy were also conducted.
capacity building for the IDP so that they can participate in the whole development process of especially doon sa rehabilitation at sa reconstruction ng Marawi.
And as an outcome of its networking efforts,
Lumbay ka ngayon, may natulungan kami na 37 family na nakakuha ng housing na permanent shelter house from UN Habitat.
Kaya gusto po namin iparating sa mga kasamahan namin mga IDPs na makilahok po sila sa amin para po mas lalong marinig yung boses namin. Hindi po kaya ng Lumbay ka Marawi ko, sila lang po yung sumusulong sa mga karapatan namin. Kailangan din po nila ng gabay ng mga IDPs.
recognizing the power of social media in disseminating information, a training on video production and social media was also conducted for the youth to be able to disseminate their messages and sentiments and to showcase the issues confronting the IDPs of Marawi.
Anong natutunan mo sa training na to?
Marami sir. Kung paano gumawa ng isang mag-edit, katulad dito, mag-edit ng isang video, magkuha ng mga iba't ibang documentary videos, magkuha ng impormasyon sa pag-interview sa isang tao. At
Ano yung storya na ginagawa mo?
yung sa akin sir, parang istorya to tungkol sa mga kabataan sa Marawi. Kung ano na yung kalagayan nila before and after the siege.
As students and as a part or as for my fellow youth, I'm saying that mag-aral tayo mabuti. Tulad ng kasabihan na ballot can kill terrorists, but education can kill terrorism.
In their planning session, strategic issues were identified. And so, Lumbay ka Marawi developed action and advocacy plans.
Strategic direction, strategic plan para magamit natin doon sa mga possible consultations with other multi-stakeholders.
Sa amin lang po, magkaroon ng sariling bahay para sa mga anak namin. Yun po, salamat.
Ang mga IDPs ay sila talaga yung dapat bigyan natin ng pansin. Sinabi natin dito, they are the lost ones, the lost, the last, and the least. So,
It's been more than 2 years since the Marawi siege. It's also more than 2 years the IDPs bear the sufferings and brunt of war.
So Lumbay ka Marawi needs help. So pasalamat amo nga mapasalamatan sila sa mga daghang mga NGOs na nag-support, nag-extend og assistance para lang ang voices will be heard and dili kayo mudako ang mga problema as IDPs.
The project has ended, no? Pero hindi ibig sabihin na hinto tayo. Hinto yung Lumbay ka Marawi, hinto yung ICESDev sa pagsusustain ng mga previous na efforts natin, no? And masaya din tayo kasi na-strengthen din yung partnership natin, no? There was a parang prior commitment yung DIB na ipagpatuloy itong project natin, no? And we are very thankful and grateful for that, no?
Slowly but surely, Lumbay ka Marawi gradually shifts its paradigm from being aid-dependent towards an informed and empowered citizens.
Kami na po mismo ang susulong sa aming karapatan. Kami na po kasi yung gumagawa ng mga proposal na yun. At saka
Rightful, knowledgeable, and capable stakeholders in the reconstruction of Marawi and rehabilitation of its people.
kami na po yung gumagawa ng paraan na magkaroon ng isang panibagong buhay po. Yun po yung hinihiling namin.